Hey everyone, Richard Robbins here. Thank you for tuning in. Well, I got a complete update for the Edmonton sales for 2022, but I'm also going to talk about inventory. I'm going to talk about prices. I'm going to talk about interest rates, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a prediction as to what I think is going to happen in 2023. So saying that, let's get started. Let's have a look at the last 12 months for sales. You can see here that we started at 1,337 and we peaked out in March at 3,283. And then, as they say, it was all downhill from there. Anyway, market was still good. Don't take this wrong. You can see we ended up the year, we did 973 sales in the month of December, but obviously it was sort of a coast down as we reached the peak in March, obviously because of rates. But let's look at this. Let's look at what happened in December for the last 6 years to give you some good comparison, because sometimes we all get caught up in, oh, look, that's coming down, it's come down, it's come down, which means the market's way off. But it's really not way off if you look at some of these numbers according to the last 6 years. So you can see we did 962 sales in 2017 of December, and then we dumped down in 2018, went up a little bit to 845 in 2019, and then 2020, which was what? COVID year. Yes, it was COVID year. We did 1,107 sales, and then of course, 1,319 in 2021 was a huge year, and then we did 973 in 2022, which, by the way, was the third best year of the last 6 years. So not all bad, everybody. So what we did is we created a line graph for you here. These are some, great visuals that you could use working with buyers or sellers to really help them understand what's happening in the marketplace. So you can see the purple line, the thicker line, that is 2022. So we started out ahead of 2021. You can see that. And then, of course, we peaked out in March. And then all of a sudden, it started to go down a little bit, but we sort of flirted with roughly the same numbers of 2021 until we got to about halfway through the year. And then, you can see 2022 started to slide below 2021 and below 2020, but still above 2018, 2019. So if you look at these numbers, you say, well, the market was going down for the rest of the year, but you want to know something, it was still stronger than many past years, but below 2021, which, by the way, was a record year. And of course, we know after COVID, was when the market started to pick up, sort of April, May of 2020, the market got very, very hot. So when you look at this, still very good numbers. And then we look at the Bank of Canada rates. Well, we all know what has happened. We started the year at 0.25, quarter of a point, right? And then, of course, it's continually gone up. So we're sitting right now at 4.25. Now, when you have a 4.25% increase in rates in 1 year, that is going to have an impact on your market, which it has. But it hasn't affected Calgary or Edmonton as much as it has the rest of the country, mainly because of oil and gas, which is nice to see for a change for Alberta, because you've got hit hard when maybe some of the other country has not. Now, what's going to happen with rates? I think, well, we're probably might see a bump up, and towards the end of January, maybe one more, maybe two more. We're not sure. Nobody knows for sure. But I think after that, you're going to start to see them stabilize a little bit. I think inflation is starting to go down. We've got to get it down a long way yet. We also still have supply chain issues that we're dealing with, which I think has a lot to do with inflation. So I think just give it some time. Everything's going to start to work itself out over the next 6 months. Let's look at the 6-year total sales. So this is the total sales that happened in the whole year. So if we go back to 2017, you did 17,539 sales. And then you see a drop, 16,600, 16,600, just above 17,000 in 2020. Remember, COVID year. And then we had that record year, 2021, got to 24,706 sales. But look at 2022. Second best year in the last 6 years. And you can see how substantially sales are up in 2021 and 2022 since 2017. So when you look at that, it was one hell of a year in terms of sales. Now let's look at months of inventory. So if we look at this next PowerPoint slide, you can see down the left side, we've got the sales, we've got the active listings, we've got the months of inventory, which is taking the active listings and dividing into it the months of inventory, tells you your months, or divide into it sales, sorry, and that gives you your months of inventory. And then we've got the average price, we've got the days in the market. Now, months of inventory is a very strong indicator as what's going to happen with price, because that's your supply and demand. And basically, say 0 to 4, that's usually a seller's market. When you get 4 to 6, you moved into balanced market. When you're above 6, you move more into a buyer's market. So you can quickly see that we were really in a seller's market for most of the year until we started to hit about July, and then we move into balanced market territory, ended up with 5.2 months of inventory. So again, market is healthy. It's in very good shape. As I said, you've been doing lots of sales. You started at 57 days in the market. We ended at 58 days on the market. So when I look at all these numbers, market's still pretty healthy in Edmonton. So last slide, let's finish with your prices, your average price over the last 6 years. So you can see 2017, 372. Then it dropped down a little bit, over the next few years. And then 2021, we got up to 384. And look at 2022, you're sitting at 391. So higher than it has been in the last 6 years. So again, overall, numbers look really, really good. So predictions, you're probably saying, well, what's going to happen in 2023? So here's my prediction. I think you're going to see inventory start to rise. I think it has to start to rise. I think what happened in the last half, everybody's watching interest rates go up, right? So all of a sudden, a lot of sellers are not putting their home in the market. They're saying, well, let's just wait and see what's going to happen. Because when there's uncertainty, people tend to stop and they hold. So I think what you're going to see in the first half of 2023 is some of those sellers are going to start to put their homes in the market. And I think you're going to start to see that inventory is going to start to rise a little bit. Now, I think sales are going to remain fairly strong for Edmonton, which is a good thing. But I do think you're going to see a little bit more inventory that's going to start to happen in 2023, maybe even into the last part of 2023. And then I think you'll probably see rates start to go down. I don't know if it'll happen the last half of this year, but probably into 2024. And then hopefully the market will start to strengthen again, and the months of inventory will probably start to lower a little bit. So that's sort of my prediction. So at the end of the day, everybody, Edmonton is sitting in very good shape right now. Happy New Year to you all. And remember, everybody, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.